So the new Jessica Swift collection for Art Gallery Fabrics has landed and it is fabulous with so much fussy cutting potential. So I felt it was time to do another video to look at the fussy cutting options and how to do sections again. Okay, so these are some of the fabrics in the new Jessica Swift collection, and as you can see there is so much fussy cutting potential. Beautifully rich, vibrant colours, fantastic motifs. But I'm using a 1-inch diamond, and I know for a fact I cannot get this owl on it, and I'm so desperate to use this gorgeous fabric. So when I can't fit it on my diamond, I decide to do sections. And as you can see, I've already chopped into it here. So if we kind of break it down in half and half, so if we were to look at the top half of the owl, there are so many different possibilities for taking a section of the motif and then repeating it to create a kaleidoscope effect. So what you don't, well, you can do it, but if you take this, you can see it on the diamond there, you're likely to be able to recognise that's an owl. And I quite like the effect of creating kaleidoscope where you can't see what the original motif was. So if you look here, if you take just this section here of the owl and block all this other stuff off, you won't be able to tell what the original is, and it can create a really fantastic new effect. Or you could try just taking just the eye, or even just a section of the neck there. That could work really nicely. So I'm going to try this bit here where I'm going to take the tip of the owl's nose and then this bit up here is my section. So grab my scissors and I'm just cutting around with 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm not being too precise. Just use my acrylic paper pieces template to guide where I cut. And then when I'm basting, I would use the acrylic template again if I was doing pattern matching, or if I want motifs that's centrally placed within my diamond. But because I'm doing sections, it doesn't need to be too precise. So I'm gonna get my paper templates, my clips. I like to use clips, and I'm a thread baster. If you prefer to use glue, that's absolutely grand. And what I'm going to do is you can see the pattern from the back of the fabric, which is really, really great for fussy cutting. So I know I'm going to line this template up by going down through this line here and just taking the tip of the nose. And what I'm going to do is then clip my shape into place. I've put a couple of knots in my thread ready, and I'm just going to fold over here and fold this over crisply to create that point. And check that I've got just the tip of the section from the owl's head, which looks good. And I'm then going to go through. I like to go through on the corners to hold it into place. So then come up, finger press my way around this template so it's nice and tight around the paper, and then use my nail to fold that corner over. I'm then going to use my thread and go down on this corner to hold it into place, and then I come back up just a little way along and continue working my way around. And the tip to making sure that your seams nest when you're doing this is to make sure that whether you baste clockwise or anti-clockwise, make sure that you do all your 6 diamonds in the same way, and then your seams should nest nicely together. So that is a section from the top of the owl in a way that makes the owl unrecognisable, and you'll be able to see here in a minute the kaleidoscope effect it's created. So just tie a knot in there to finish it off camera there, sorry. There's nothing exciting going on, just a knot. And then, so you can see there, from that section of the owl, I've just taken that tip from the head. See just here. So I've just taken that. And then when you've got 6 of these diamonds, you can then really begin to see it take shape. So you begin to place them all the way around here. Try it this side, hold on. And this is when it doesn't matter too much if it's not precise, because you're not pattern matching, you're creating a new pattern, a kaleidoscope pattern. And you'll see that not only has Jessica Swift designed this fabulous owl, but if you can't fit the whole owl on your motif, I'm going to see if I can tuck that in without, yeah. If you can't fit the whole owl for your fussy cutting, then you can do the sections of the owl. If I zoom in here, look at that. An amazing kaleidoscope effect has been created. Or the other option is you can then flip it 180. So I've still taken the section of the owl, but instead of all coming towards the centre of my diamond, I've got them all facing away from my diamond. And again, this creates a really fabulous secondary design. I'll tuck that edge under, and look at that one. So exactly the same motif, just it gives completely different effect just by turning it. So that's taking a section from the top of the motif. I'll zoom back out a bit now. And I wanted to, I obviously don't want a fabric that looks like a piece of Swiss cheese, which is how it's looking. I want to make every bit count. And you can see here, the owl's tail is really coming through there as a bit that I've left. So that has fantastic fussy cutting potential, because you can then take just the tail and that'll create, if you imagine 6 of those all the way around, what an amazing effect that will have. And that one too. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the feet. So making every bit of this fabulous fabric work. And I'm just going to take the feet of the owl. So you'll no longer be able to tell what the original one was. Again, I'm just going to cut through my 3/8 template. And as I go around, and then I'll do exactly the same process of thread basting. Before I drop everything on the floor. And I'm just gonna, again, I'm gonna baste it without using the acrylic. So I'm just gonna line up. I know I want this foot in, but I don't want to get this green on it as well. So that's what I'm using as my marker. So I'm going to line the point of my diamond up right against there, clip it into place. And this is where I quite like clips, because if it goes horribly wrong, I'm just going to baste this without putting a knot in my thread, sorry. Instead of pins, because I think pins can wobble around a bit as you're working your way around, whereas clips hold it quite sturdy in place. So double checking it hasn't moved, which it shouldn't do, unless it's got magical moving powers. And I'm just going to work my way around again, just using my fingers and my nails to press it into place. I go down on the corner, come back up to hold that fold in place. Again, finger press it in, go down on the corner to hold it into place. Come back up, and you just continue to work your way around. Take the last clip off. So you can see that fussy cutting doesn't leave your fabric as Swiss holes, because when it comes to section fussy cutting or kaleidoscope fussy cutting, you can really make every scrap count. So that, I'll come back up, just bent my template over, so just pull it back out. And don't be afraid to bend your papers either as you're sewing it together. That's why they're papers. Right, do that one, knot it, cut it, and then grab the earlier ones. And by taking the owl's foot, you can then create another effect. Shall I see if I can zoom in again? There we go. And then you really start to see this new design coming through here, where by joining it, love this, just tuck that one under there, and this one goes here, and just tuck that tail under. So there you go. Oh, I say there I go, and then I knock them all out. But there, by taking the section from the bottom half of the owl in a way that, you know, you can probably tell that's an owl's foot or a bird's foot, but you wouldn't be able to tell what the original motif was. And it has created almost like a flower shape here right at the centre, and again you can flip them 180 and see what other shapes you can create. So I cannot wait to put the same technique into practice with these fabulous animals and these. So keep your eyes peeled and see what happens.